despite the talk of like equality and things like that, I battle with that a lot. And so it's kind of like, do you think that capitalism can survive without a certain level of exploitation where someone benefits and the other person doesn't?
Right. Well, I'll do that part first. It's easy. No, I don't think, I mean, capitalism as an economic system is by definition predicated on the exploitation of certain workers at the expense of their own good. I mean, and that's not, by the way, Adam Smith even acknowledged that. Right. I mean, in the sense that, like, Adam Smith talked about the value-added labor, which is really what Marx called surplus value of labor, and it's just this idea that I pay you less than the value of what you make for me. Right. That's by definition exploitation. Now, we can argue whether it's legit or not. Some people who believe in capitalism will say, well, that's a necessary price we have to pay. You have to have profit in order to have new investment, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't happen to agree with that assessment, but at least let's be honest, right? That if you make something for me and it's worth X and I pay you X minus 20 or X minus 50, I'm paying you less than the value of what you're doing for me. You're creating wealth for me. I'm not doing jack for you except paying you less than the value of what you made me. That's exploitation, like any way you cut it. So either you're for that because you think it serves a greater good, or you're against it, but let's not act like that in what's happening, okay? So there will always be a certain degree of exploitation under capitalism as an economic model. Whether or not that has to be racial exploitation, though, is an open question. I don't think that racism has to exist in order for capitalism to survive, nor do I think capitalism has to exist for racism to survive, and I don't want to be reductionist in that direction either. I think racism and capitalism certainly have gone together in our history, but sadly, racism could still exist even if capitalism were abolished tomorrow. It would have other ways in which it would manifest and morph, and so I just want us to remember that.